Your DNA will tell you that.
Tom McCabe's DNA is so strong it tells you that he's philosophically conservative.
No question about it. And with the Freedom Foundation. By the way, is it true, Tom, that y'all changed the name from Evergreen Freedom Foundation because you didn't want to be associated with Evergreen State College?
I think that's exactly right.
I think so, too. How are you?
If that wasn't the reason, that would have been a good rationale if you changed this week.
That's right. That's right. So how are you?
I'm doing good. How are you guys doing?
We're doing well.
Sounds like you're having fun.
Well,
Every day.
The world is going so fast in one direction you have to laugh, because if you laughed, you'd get depressed. You have to laugh about it and realize the folly of humanity. But anyway, listen, you guys, Freedom Foundation, still keeping up the fight against the SEIU and against the unions lying to their members about their constitutional rights and making sure the court decisions are enforced and people are aware of their rights. How goes the campaign?
The campaign's going well. Our mission is not to write white papers and talk about, what would happen if a Republican got elected. We actually help union members get out of the union, and specifically government union members get out of the government unions. And we've had great success over the last 18 months. Over 10,000 union members from SEIU, the Service Employees International Union, have left SEIU because of our efforts.
And the one of the biggest results is less money for SEIU to spend on political campaigns because that's what they spend their dues money on, right?
That's exactly right. SEIU in Washington State is the largest political spender for the left. Last election cycle, they spent over $6 million in Washington State. And then they have so much money, Kirby and John, that they're able to spend money throughout the country on races in North Carolina or Texas, or you were just talking about Virginia. They were in Virginia.
I thought you were defunding these guys. How do they have all this money to spend?
We're not done yet. They have 50,000 members. We've been able to get 10,000 out. We've blown a $10 million hole in their budget. That's what we believe they lost last year.
That's real money.
That's real money.
Yeah, it's real money, and we continue to fight the fight, and obviously they're responding as well to what we're doing.
Now, here in Washington, they pulled a fast one, and in the name of protecting senior citizens from identity theft, they prevented the state of Washington from releasing the public information of state employees who are in the union that you could notify that they didn't have to be in the union, because a lot of them think they have to be. SEIU wants them to think that it's a done deal and that you don't have an option. And you guys are saying, no, we want to let people know there is an option.
That's right, John. That they put an initiative on the ballot, Initiative 1501, last November. They spent $1.8 million on it. And basically it's a ballot measure to muzzle the Freedom Foundation from telling SEIU members that they do not have to belong to the union in order to keep their jobs as home health care aides or child care providers.
So what has happened since? I mean, how are you able to notify people if you've now been cut off from knowing who is and who isn't?
It's a great question. We have access to lists that we've received from disgruntled SEIU employees.
Really?
Yes.
Well, how about this? They're leaking.
There are leaks in the
Government
SEIU. Well, Tom, I understand you guys have 5 lawsuits currently against you?
That's correct. The SEIU has sued us. Obviously, it's a assault on us because we're a threat and we're eroding their power. And so the lawsuits were filed. There's 3 of them, basically, that were filed the same day. 3 different law firms in Seattle that they hired to bring these lawsuits against us. One of them alleges that we committed tortious interference with SEIU because we informed their members that they could stop paying union dues pursuant to the First Amendment and pursuant to a U.S. Supreme Court decision.
You see tortuous interference?
Mm-hmm. Tortious interference.
Wow, that's quite an adjective.
As in they committed a tort by doing so.
Ah, got it. Not torture, but a tort. Okay.
Yeah, torture.
I thought maybe you were like, torturing them, tying them down, hitting them with water. Okay. And the others?
And then the others, they got Bob Ferguson to file against us, and these are campaign finance-related cases where they claim that we violated campaign finance laws, even though we're not involved in campaigns, and even though we're not involved in elections as a charitable organization, a 501c3, we don't do that. But Ferguson, obviously responding to his biggest donor, has turned out to be a bit of a Elliot Spitzer, the former Attorney General of New York,
right,
where he files these huge cases and does a big press release, and then forces the defendant, in this case us, to lawyer up, and hopefully we'll win these cases. We won the first Attorney General case in trial court, and that case is now on appeal.
Well, now, this is expensive for you, right? I mean, what they're doing to you what they did to John and I when we ran Initiative 912, when they took us to court.
I mean, when we supported those who were running Initiative.
Well, yes, when we supported those who were
speech.
supporting, yes, 912, about our free speech. We weren't really running the campaign. We were helping, and we got taken to court. And the tactic was just to make us spend money, make the committee spend money defending us, and time defending us that couldn't be spent on the campaign. It was a diversionary tactic. It seems to me that some of these look like they're really diversions, so you spend money on defending yourself rather than money notifying union members about their rights.
That's exactly right. I think these cases are utterly meritless, and obviously they're designed to bankrupt the Freedom Foundation, or at least prevent us from doing what our real mission is, which is to help people get out of the union. So instead of spending money, as you say, on informing people that they have that right, we're spending money now on legal fees. And as you know, because you guys went through it, it's extraordinarily expensive and extraordinarily time-consuming.
And I got to tell you, Tom, one thing I've always liked about you, because we've been friends for a very long time, and Freedom Foundation and your leadership, is you guys actually walking the talk. You're actually doing something. You're not just pontificating or advocating. You're actually doing something to win the battle.
And by the way, they're doing it on high principle.
Right.
They're doing it based on the principle that no one should be forced to join a labor union. When you have a choice, you should be allowed to exercise it, and you should be informed.
That's right.
That you should exercise that choice. I wish we had someone standing on principle at Evergreen.
Don't we wish? Tom, if people want to help, what can they do?
Well, the best thing to do, Kirby, is just to go to our website, which is freedomfoundation.com. And obviously the number one issue right now for us is finances. We've got to pay these attorneys, and we've got to go through this process and beat the SEIU in court so we can continue doing our good work. And there's a donation page right there on freedomfoundation.com that people can click on and help us out.
Folks, if you want to help out, they're fighting the battle. They're winning, too. Otherwise, they wouldn't have all this attention.
Exactly.
If you can help, freedomfoundation.com. Tom, I'll be there by close of business today. You'll have my donation.
Thank you, Kirby. Thank you, John, for what you do.
You got it. Tom
Thanks,
McCabe
Tom.
from freedomfoundation.com. That's freedomfoundation.com. And both Kirby and Tom are right. These guys fight, and these guys win. So you're investing in victory. You're listening to John and Kirby, Talk Radio 570 KVI, Seattle.